I gave you fruit from the desert, a pocket full of stars, a glimmer from the eyes of a saint. Roses by the bunches and my very best hunches about everything that isn't, that ain't. With any kind of luck by now, it will be falling on your head tenfold. I'm a fool for believing lies you forgot you told. And when you begged and you pleaded, I spoke the words you needed, though every single one burnt my tongue. And I gave you faith when it deserted you, and kisses till it hurt. Climb the silver ladder to the very top of rung, and with any kind of luck by now, it will be falling on your head tenfold. I'm a fool for believing lies I knew all along. Oh, I knew all along, and I knew all along. Oh, I knew all along. Oh, 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 I gave you handwriting and tears, an antidote to fears, a plumb line to the bottom of the well. When you asked about my secret book, I showed you every page, at least I think I did. You never can tell. With any kind of luck by now, this will be falling on your head tenfold. I'm such a fool for believing lies. With any kind of luck by now, it's falling on our heads tenfold. I'm a fool for believing lies you forgot you told.
Yeah, Peter Mulvey from the 38 Festival. Thanks a lot, man. I really mean it. You know, coming out here, it's just really made the festival for me.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad. I appreciate it. It's my first time down here. This is a beautiful part of the planet.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Especially in January. It's been kind of cold, but today turned out really nice. You know?
Good.
Yeah.
So this, good.
It's unusually cold here. It's usually much warmer.
It all feels warm to me. I flew here from Milwaukee. So.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. What are you playing there? That's a beautiful looking instrument. Beautiful sounding, too.
This is an off-the-shelf Martin OM. It looks old. Because
it does look old.
Yeah, it's actually only about maybe 15 years old.
Just well used.
Yeah, I've kind of beaten the crap out of it over the years. But I also put on tuners. I go through. I use these things pretty hard, so I've sort of added the old school accoutrements as they've worn out. You know?
Yeah. Let me ask you about a couple of things. Letters from a Flying Machine. Every other album or so that you put out is just like a total surprise to me, at least. And, you keep doing different things and, kind of stretching. And how did you get the idea for, the Letters album? And are you still doing, like spoken word stuff?
I got the idea just from life. I mean, I got a bunch of nieces and nephews, and I started writing them letters as soon as they were born. And then the other thing was that I met an astrophysicist one year, and he said something pretty spectacular to me about the likelihood of there being other intelligent life in the universe at this given moment.
Yeah.
And it kind of knocked me over, and I remember walking around for about a month after he said this to me thinking, how can I get what he told me onto a record? And it occurred to me that if I couched it in those terms, as though I was writing a letter to a niece, that would be sort of a way for it to be overheard and sort of sneak it into an audience's awareness. It was so, and to answer the other question, no, I'm not. I spent about 2 years doing the spoken word pieces from that record, and then I just put it to bed and moved on.
Yeah.
And then to double way back, thank you. I'm glad that you're being surprised. That's I'm always trying to do something different because I figure. I guess because I'm a fan of a lot of music.
Yeah.
And so much has been done. I mean.
Yeah, and so many artists keep doing the same thing, you know, like same song basically for 20 years. You know?
Yeah. If you can make that live.
Yeah. Well,
Great.
it's a great way to live. Yeah. But it's not making you grow very much as an artist. I'll tell you another one that caught me by surprise was Knuckleball Suite, which, you know, was a little bit different than, you know, what I expected. And, you know, it took me a little bit of time to, you know, kind of get into where you were going to. And, you know, in that's another one I really loved.
Yeah, that was a weird ensemble. It was, I mean, essentially it was a rock quartet playing my acoustic singer-songwriter tunes, you know. And we really enjoyed making that record. It was just the four of us, you know.
I could tell, you know, by the way, the interaction and everything, you know, it just came out so beautifully.
Totally. Like the last track, the big long track with the big jam at the end, you know, that was real deal happening in the studio. We didn't know what we were doing, and I loved the way that it kept building. And then, you know, the drummer, Mike Peel, who's a wonderful drummer, you know, he's played 1,000 gigs with 1,000 different guys.
Sure, yeah.
It's not his first rodeo, and he knew the moment to kind of pull the string on the whole thing.
Yeah, so that's it. We're done, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's go on. Speaking of going on, you got a couple more tunes for us, and we'll come back and talk some more.
Sure. This is called You Don't Have to Tell Me. In the middle of the humdrum, there is a sound like a riddle. It's waiting and a waiting and a waiting for your soul to solve it. And in a medicine cabinet, they got a pill to take the edge off. It's waiting and a waiting and a waiting for your tongue to dissolve it. But you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. I already know. And in the middle of a lifetime, the road gets a little squirrely. You might lose your sense of humor for a year or two. And in the middle of the ocean, there is a dolphin with a head cold. You probably think about him as often as he thinks of you. But you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. I already know. In the middle of the motion, you can wonder if you mean it, or you can just put a hand out, lay it on me. I can second that emotion. We can make the moment stand out. We could lock it all down, or we could set it all free. Oh, but you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. I already know. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me. I already know. No, you don't have to tell me. I already know. And you'd ask for another tune. This is a tune. These are all tunes off of a record that'll be out in April. And this one's called What Else Was It? It's one of three tunes. I noticed when I put the tunes on this record that three of the tunes had question marks in their titles. What else was it? This tune that I'm about to play, but also a tune called Where Did You Go? And a tune called Remember the Milkman. And I thought, as soon as I saw that, with the graphic designer put that there, I noticed that I thought of that Shania Twain record where she has that song "Man!" exclamation point. I feel like a woman! Exclamation point. So there's two in one title there, and there's four on the back of that record. I mean, there is a surfeit of exclamation points on her record. So I'm trying to make up for that. not to knock her. She's wonderful. I'm sorry. I'm just talking about the exclamation points. I'm really talking about her points. You took a shovel to the basement and you blistered up your hands. You danced all night at the wedding. You stayed up drinking with the band. Oh, you made love until the daylight was creeping across the floor. Tell me, what else was it you were looking for? You felt the first chill of November steal right inside your coat, right there with a fragile pulse of living fluttered in your throat. You left the house you thought you lived in, didn't even shut the door. Tell me, what else was it? What else was it that you were looking for? Oh, oh, the book of all your precious sorrows had come down off your shelf, so you labored over every empty page until you finally came back to yourself, and you laughed out loud. Oh, you were light and free and poor. Tell me, what else was it? What else was it that you were looking for? You meet me in the clear light, right there where the leaves are coming down. And if I learn to say your name, would you learn to stick around? Oh, we could walk and just say nothing more. Then what else was it you were looking for?
Yeah, Peter Mulvey on Acoustic Interlude, live from the 30A Songwriters Festival. A couple of really good tunes. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy with this latest bunch.
Okay, coming out in April now, the new CD,
yeah,
right?
April Fool's Day, April 1st it comes out, and it's perfect.
Yeah, you're asking for it, man.
I know. I went out to L.A. It's the first time I ever did, I made the California trip, and Chuck Prophet produced the record, and that was just, it was wild. It was overwhelming.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's great, but he's also, pretty much an extra large sized personality, there was a great learning curve.
Really?
It was great.
Just all the experience and knowledge and everything,
Well, he's a knockout, and he's immensely distractible. It's why his own music is so good.
Yeah.
Because to him, when a song starts coming out of speakers, a clock is running. Like, are we doing? Is something happening? Because if something's not happening, let's make something happen. Like it was a highly caffeinated brouhaha. It was great. It was great. You know.
Well, besides the new record, what's going on in the spring and summer? Doing anything really fun? Or
I am. I'm going to Alaska. Here we are in Florida.
Well, that's fun. Yeah.
In about three weeks, I'm flying up to do some shows in Alaska. 4 on my own and 1 with Ani DeFranco.
Oh, really?
That'll be great. And then then I get on a plane and I go across the Atlantic, and I'll be doing about. It looks like 25 shows in about 29 days.
Wow.
In the Netherlands, Germany, the United Kingdom, and Ireland. And then I come back, and the next day I begin a run of about 12 shows on the East Coast releasing the record. So,
wow.
Touch wood.
It's going to be busy. It's going to be busy.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
But I am really impressed. You know, you're doing Alaska in the middle of the winter. And
that's the time to go, man. They come to your shows then.
I bet they do, yeah.
You know, I've played in like some of those little tundra towns like Bethel or Tok. And I've been the only thing that was happening there for that month. You know,
really?
There's only like one thing happening. In fact, I played once, and no fooling, I had like, I think it was 500 people come out to my show, and that was it. It's in a town of like 2,200 people. Like,
wow,
it'd be like going
town.
to right. It would be like going to New York City and drawing millions of people. Like. I mean, and except of course, you're never the only thing that's happening in New York.
Yeah,
I should write that down. That was good.
That's a good
You're
song
never
title.
Yeah.
You're never the only thing happening in New York.
Yeah.
And when are you going to re-release, reissue, put back in the catalog, whatever, however you want to phrase it, Deep Blue? Because it's seriously one of my favorite records of all time.
Thank you. I plan to do that this spring. I mean, I've got, or at least set someone to that task of making sure that record gets re-released. And put back in print. I don't know how much that matters in this bizarre, sort of post thing world. I might just wait for the replicators to be able to replicate it. But I'm partial to traveling around with a trunk full of CDs. Call me old fashioned, but I'm partial to traveling around the world with boxes full of ones and zeros encoded onto plastic.
Yeah, you can't be old technology.
That's right.
My nephew, who's now like 20 something, he's in his early 20s. When he was 15, he came over to my house and he was looking at all the CDs, big wall of CDs, and he goes, "Man, that is just so old fashioned." He couldn't
Right.
believe it, and this was almost 10 years ago. So I can imagine what the kids think these days.
I was in my parents' house, and it occurred. I was talking about someone had told me that Franz Liszt, who died before the advent of recording, that Franz Liszt did, however, sit down at some of those velocity-sensitive player piano punch rolls.
Yeah, right.
And then it occurred to me to do this, and I took my phone and I just Googled Franz Liszt piano roll, and a YouTube video comes up. And so, sitting in my parents' living room, we are listening essentially to the mind and the intelligence of Franz Liszt, translated from before the recording era through a phone. And I thought, nothing's old fashioned anymore. It's over. Everything. I mean, or everything is old fashioned.
Yeah. Well, everything at some point is just going to merge together into one big consciousness, I guess.
The singularity, and then
there you go.
There it is. There's people writing about that stuff. I mean,
Ted Kurzweil,
Ted Williams had his head frozen. Let's just admit that we're all.
Yeah. We're talking to Peter Mulvey, who's going to do one more song for us before he gets out of here, right?
Sure, absolutely.
You got to get Paul up here next.
Well, here's a song that I wrote with the great Paul Seabar that wound up on my latest record. And thank you so much. Thank you, John. Thanks for having me.
Oh, sure. Thanks for coming out.
Somebody started it. I got a feeling they've been gone a while. They roped me into it. There wasn't nothing I could do. But I've been dreaming, just kidding about that extra mile. The early birdie got it. Ain't nothing left for me and you. What do we do? They didn't say work it on through and back again. Put in our time, we labor down in. How long it gonna be until we're back in the wind? Some kind of sedative slipped into what passes for my higher mind. I gotta hand it to them. They got me thinking that it's me. But I've been dreaming lately, wide awake, you know, the flying kind. New whistle blowing, let's just go see what we can see. What do we do? They didn't say, work it on through and back again. Put in our time, we labor down in. How long it gonna be until we're back in the wind? And if you wanna know the truth of it, I probably could have half-assed my way through the rest of the deal, but something wouldn't let me. Something wouldn't let me. What do we do? They didn't say, work it on through and back again. Put in our time, we labor down in. How long it gonna be till we're back in the wind? We're going back in the wind. We're going back in the wind. Oh, we're going back in the wind. We're going back in the.
Yeah, Peter Mulvey live from the 30A Songwriters Festival on Acoustic Interlude. I'm John Maxwell. Peter, really enjoyed it, man. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.